A Princess Among Slaves, Episode 1. The Fall of a Princess. The kingdom of Udala was one of the greatest in the land, a place where wealth, power, and tradition flourished. At its heart stood the magnificent palace, home to King Obinna, Queen Anika, and their only daughter, Princess Adana. Adana was the jewel of Udala. From the day she was born, she was loved by the people and treasured by her parents. With her mother's beauty and her father's wisdom, she was raised to one day take the throne. She had everything: a luxurious life, servants at her call, the best education, and a loving family. But what she did not know was that fate can be cruel, and happiness can be stolen in an instant. One evening, when the palace was filled with laughter and music, darkness crept into their lives. Queen Anika fell ill. It started as a simple fever, nothing the palace healers could not handle. But the fever did not go away. Instead, it worsened. Day by day, the queen grew weaker, her once radiant skin turning pale, her voice barely above a whisper. Adana, only 12 at the time, clung to her mother's side, refusing to believe the worst. "You will get better, Mama," she said, her small hands clutching Anika's frail fingers. "You promised to teach me how to rule the kingdom." Queen Anika managed a weak smile, brushing her daughter's hair with trembling hands. "My little star, you are stronger than you know. No matter what happens, promise me that you will never let anyone break you." "I promise," Adana whispered, but she did not understand what her mother truly meant. The next morning, the queen was gone. The entire kingdom wept, for Queen Anika was not just a ruler's wife, she was the heart of Udala. Her kindness had touched everyone, from the wealthiest nobles to the poorest villagers. But no one grieved more than young Adana. She screamed, cried, and begged the gods to bring her mother back, but the gods remained silent. Her father, King Obinna, changed after that day. He became distant, drowning himself in his duties, avoiding the sight of his daughter because she looked too much like her mother. For months, the palace was covered in mourning, until one day, the silence was broken by something unexpected. A new queen. Her name was Ifoma. She was beautiful, tall, elegant, with a voice that could melt hearts. The people whispered about how quickly King Obinna had remarried, but no one dared question the king's decision. At first, Ifoma seemed perfect. She showered Adana with gifts, dressed her in the finest silks, and called her "my precious daughter." The young princess, desperate for love, believed that perhaps she had found a second mother. But masks do not stay on forever. Not long after the marriage, King Obinna announced that he had to embark on an important journey. A neighboring kingdom had requested his presence, and he would be gone for a long time. The night before he left, he called Adana to his chambers. "My daughter," he said, placing his large hands on her shoulders, "while I am away, listen to your stepmother. Be obedient, and soon I will return." "Will you be gone for long, Papa?" Adana asked, her heart uneasy. "Only for a short time," he assured her, "and when I return, I will bring you gifts from the great kingdoms beyond." Adana smiled, believing his words. She hugged him tightly, unaware that this would be the last time she would feel her father's warmth. A princess no more. 2 days after the king's departure, Queen Ifoma changed overnight. The sweet, loving stepmother was gone. In her place stood a cruel, calculating woman who saw Adana as nothing more than a burden. "You are no longer a princess," Ifoma said coldly. "From now on, you will live as a servant in this palace." Adana's eyes widened. But my father—" "Your father is gone," Ifoma snapped. "And until he returns, I am the queen of this land. What I say is law." The next morning, everything changed. Adana's soft bed was taken from her room. Her beautiful gowns were snatched away and given to Ifoma's daughter, Alachi. Even her favorite beaded jewelry, a gift from her late mother, was stolen from her hands. She was dragged from her royal chambers to the servants' quarters, where a thin mat on the cold stone floor became her new bed. At first, Adana refused to believe it. This was some mistake. Any moment now her father would send a message, or the palace elders would stop this madness. But no one came. The servants, once loyal to her, now turned their backs. They did not dare challenge the queen, for they had seen what happened to those who disobeyed her. "You are to scrub the palace floors," one of the senior maids told her. "Wash the clothes, carry water, and prepare the queen's meals. Do not speak unless spoken to." Adana could barely breathe. She, a princess, doing the work of a common slave. Her hands, once used to holding golden goblets and writing royal scrolls, were now blistered from scrubbing floors. Her feet, once covered in fine slippers, were now cracked and bare from walking on hot stone. But the worst part was Alokvi, the queen's daughter, spoiled and cruel, took pleasure in watching Adana suffer. "Look at her," Alokvi laughed, sipping from a golden cup. The mighty princess of Udala, now nothing more than a common house girl. Adana clenched her fists. She wanted to fight, to scream, to tell everyone that she was still the princess. But she knew it would only make things worse. Instead, she endured. She swallowed her pride. She hid her tears. She did what she was told. But in her heart, she made a silent vow. "This is not my end. One day, I will rise again." Whispers of a lost king. One evening, as she carried a basket of firewood into the palace, she overheard two guards talking in hushed voices. "The king's return is delayed," one said. "There was an ambush on the way to the neighboring kingdom. Some say he might be dead." Adana's breath caught in her throat. Dead? No, it couldn't be. Her legs trembled, and for a moment she felt as if the world had shattered around her. If her father was gone, then she was truly alone. But deep inside, something burned within her. She refused to believe it. Until she had proof, she would hold on to hope. And one day, she would escape this life of servitude and reclaim what was rightfully hers. To be continued. A story by Ezen Goodness. A like, share and comment. Should Adana give up or fight back? Let's talk in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Tag someone who loves the powerful stories. The journey is just beginning. Stay tuned for episode